Welcome to the watch list video for Monday, March the 12th. A lot of action, of course, on Friday. A lot of stocks really moved up fast. A lot of them move up too far too fast and may give some slight pullbacks for some little better entries. And many of them will just continue to accelerate. We're going to take a look at the markets and then look at what the charts came up. Actually, preparation days in advance of Friday would have had you prepared for what to do on Friday. Quick glance at the markets. Great job numbers. Friday morning pre-market had the market accelerating well over the 50-day moving average on the S&P 500 and the SPY prior to the market open. Remember, we talk about that being a key value. This is the Dow 50-day. We did close above it even on the Dow on Friday. I'm going to draw a trend line here and set a permanent alert for some time to come. If we dip back down here on the Dow, I want to know when we get right here. This will be a support line. Over on your SPY, you've got your 50-day. Remember, we talked about could gap down, test it, go down, could gap above, test it, go up. Well, it gapped above and it was so strong. It was already testing this pre-market, and those job numbers came out. It just exploded off that level. This is regular hours open way up here, well above the 50-day, and just continued. We had a slight little pullback right on the open, gave some chances to pick up some stocks that had gapped up. There was a very quick, all in about the first 10 minutes. Actually, I remember watching the AD lines falling and commenting in the room that this is the place they need to hold on the AD lines. If we get a turn right here, this market's headed back up, and it did turn there, and I used our proprietary charting system on that verbal alert there for the market to hold. So a screenshot at that time. This was all this was the open, and this all happened in about 1 minute, and this was about 9:40 when it pulled back. And this is what we teach when we trade our stocks off our trend pivot line, and it pulled back right there. It was sitting there. I said, "It's where we need to hold." It's at 9:40 a.m. and then the market turned and really never looked back. And if you break your early market timing, that was right in here. This list opened at 9:40. This bar closed at 9:40. So we closed right here, gave that little dip down in that first minute, and came right back up. You can probably break it down on a 5 and get a closer look there. This was the bar that opened at 9:40. So it gave that last little dip, headed back up, and off we went. Final look at the SP 500. It did gap above the 50-day, of course, and just exploded up. These are our overhead trend lines now. I have alerts already set on these like I drew on the Dow. I got the bottom and the top, and when these lines get visited in the future, there will be key. Whether we come down and touch this one here next week one day and head back up, which that's what you want to see. If it pulls back, you want to hold this trend line, you want to hold this 50-day. They may actually be in the same place at the time that happens. Or if you breach the trend line, it's slightly above the 50, you want to hold the 50. So we could get a run up. We're probably going to get another run up on Monday, obviously, with this kind of momentum. We closed right at the highs on Friday. We could get a little pullback early. You could even get a gap down. You never know. That's why you want to have a plan. And if you can draw these kind of trend lines on your market charts, or even on a stock chart, when you get a gap down and you run right into support and immediately come off of it, you're prepared for what's going on because you already prepared your chart and are ready to react to what should be a bullish reaction. If there were to be some kind of market news or chatter that causes the market to try to go into a sell-off, even from up here or whatever, in the next several days, this is where you want to hold. You want to be holding this 50-day and holding this trend line. If this trend line has extended up beyond this one at the time, this is the one you want to hold. And initially, you can expect them to give a reaction if the market, let's say the market sold really hard and hit one of these lines in the next few days, your initial reaction intraday will be to bounce off of it. It's almost guaranteed. Now, whether it comes back down and takes it out 20 minutes later, that's the key to the overall market. But the initial reaction generally is a quick bounce. The algos know these lines are here. High frequency computers know these lines are here, and they're the ones that step in and buy the market when it sells off real hard for that quick profit that they take. And when they quit buying and start selling, it just sends it back down where it was. See what we got on these watch list over here. You can pause the video and pick up. You got still in the bear zone. Your bull zone breaks is a huge list on the weekly, of course. Didn't expect any less than that. You can pause that video and take a look. And this is the final for last week. Daily bears, you got hardly anything on that. And your daily bulls, just 19 stocks broke into our bull zone on 5,000 scan here, because we already had so many already in there, and you'll be able to see that on the recap list. I may show that here before we get started actually. We just do a quick glance at the recap list from last week as we were showing those bull zone breaks. These are the ones that broke on Thursday, excuse me. These go back 5 days. So this was your list from the video on Thursday night of the bull breakers. The market broke out more ALY, $6 a day, $3 a day, $2 a day. Many of these $4 a day on it. ITW was on a bull break the day before on the daily bull break. All these stocks, every single one of them went up $9 more. They were all up except for these 2 or 3 right here that red. The break from the day before. And these are all recalculated new bull zone levels. They're all above other than one. Now, the momentum part is it went so far that the momentum part is not there on every single one, and many they are. That don't mean they don't keep going. That's just a minimum criteria. At some point they get so high, what I gauge the initial momentum with changes, so it doesn't stay like super strength. It can come and go as it has another big monster day. That doesn't mean it's not still going up. As long as you're maintaining this newly calculated higher level bull zones, and especially my little trend stability indicator, that means it's not putting in the lows low enough to even make that not true anymore. It can go down and come back up and make this go away. It measures the lows of the day. 3 days back, we got another $2 on Autodesk. This stock, from the time we put it out on the bull break, up $18 over this price was our bull break zone. Of course, that was a gap up there, so part of that you couldn't actually make because of the gap. Other stocks that actually traded up through it. Here's our alert level, 465 on Friday, 618 total since the alert 2 days ago, so forth and so on. $1.27 on Friday. We alerted this at $39.02, up $5. High at the peak was up $6 profit. That's how the recap list works. We give you the price we alerted it at back on the day over here. We give you the P&L so far and the P&L at the peak. That way, if you see one start selling back down, maybe it has a red day, you can still go out here and refer. Like this stock here had a red day. It's up $1.86 since the alert, but you can see it was up $4.94 at the peak. These stay on here for 5 days and they keep rolling forward. The weekly just lasts to the end of the week. So you had a lot of stocks just kept going, and you had your momentum stocks already identified from our video. You also can get these live alerts on up to 400 stocks on our website on this daily bull and bear zone. I'll just go ahead and let you look at all these stocks on the bull here, and then we'll recap them again at the end, so you can pause the video and just see what's continued to continue. This is 5 days in. This stock here is $2.41 on Friday, $5.85 total since we started watching it, and it's still strong. We get over to the actual charts, do our 3-minute tutorial. Thanks for watching. This is a mini tutorial on what the lines mean on my charts if you're a first-time viewer or been a while since you viewed. We're scanning on weekly and daily charts for my condition. When this green line is up, it's my bull zone, and when the red line is up, it's my bear zone. You need to be aware of support and resistance lines and what charts do at levels, and that's what these levels are for. Just quickly as I can do this, and we're going to put a video on YouTube getting more from your swing trading charts that'll be more detailed and look at more stocks, how they react to these lines. But the gist of what you see here is this is what I'm scanning for, and as you can see here, this showed up in the bear zone. It did go down for a few days, but these green lines are support, and that's why it fought for a few days, tried to bounce back up, headed back down again, came right back into the bull zone, a bear zone, excuse me, and continued on down. Now the lines, here's what they represent. A green line is a place that a stock went up to and rejected. So as this green line redrew itself every time we made highs right here, and then it stayed across here for reference points, continues the same line here for reference points. Resistance, when you get above it, becomes support. This green line was drawn way back in the history, and when this stock broke above this resistance level, when it came back down, it held it, it held it, it held it, it tested it and held it again and again. That was support. That's why I want you to be aware of what these lines mean. You'll see them on my charts. And then the activity that stocks do, sometimes they go, that's my first target, that's my second target. Many times stocks go target 1, pull back a little, target 2, then they may pull all the way back to 1 and go again if they're continuing an uptrend. In this case, it did the pull back. This blue line is a 50-period moving average. This orange line is a 200. So that's what I want you to be aware of as well. And then I have a pivot system that consists of this blue line at the top, yellow line at the bottom, and my target 1 and target 2. You'll see this particular day this stock gapped down, huge gap down, open way down here. The low on this stock was 169.68. I'm getting that right out of this box over here, and the value of that yellow line was 169.67. Within 1 cent it held that line and bounced that day for a huge bounce. It's not a support level, but it's where I look for stocks to try to hold. It's where I look if I'm short, say from here, this is where I'm looking to get out. I'm looking to move 2 levels, target 1, target 2, going up, target 1, target 2. The pink lines all represent places the stock has gone down to and bounced. This pink line is referencing this last pivot low. So as you're selling down into it, it may bounce again. If you get below it, then it becomes resistance. And that's all these lines mean. I just want you to know what they mean going forward. Thanks for watching the video. Let's get started. Through time, I've got several comments and emails from viewers that don't subscribe to our services but do watch our videos and basically say, hey man, I'm getting some good trades off your videos. I wish there's a way I could contribute, and I don't want to sign up for a membership. So I finally went and made a donation button. You can find it 2 places. On any video, we're included at the bottom. You just click the show more button, and shortly down there you'll see support our channel, a donation through PayPal. You can click right here, pay through or make a donation through PayPal. Any amount you want to put in there is acceptable and appreciated. And then on our website, you can go to daytradersetups.com, press the YouTube menu item. It'll take you to this page, and there's a donate button there as well. And we appreciate that, appreciate the suggestion, and thank you ahead of time for any donations sent. We appreciate it a lot. Weekly bears. CI, the big sell-off on the gap down on your daily 2 days ago, had an inside day, held up well on that buyout. I think it was Express Scripts. Here's your weekly low was 171.06. Our support line that we teach you to recognize was 170. So it didn't quite get to the line, and it may yet test that line. And these, we got some lows right in here that go back over here at 170.55, and I don't think we ever touched that line technically either. 171.06 as close as we got there. So one of those is probably going to get tested. A little gap down and a reaction off of that could be something strong for an intraday trade. You may get the bigger picture as far as like I'm trying to swing this, and I know a lot of people are interested. You may get you a multi-day run back up to this level here around 179. It's 180.04 actually, and then pull back again back into this low and retest before it actually really goes up. I would expect another pullback every now and then, though. They step in and buy one and just explode it. If you get a gap up way up here and come back and test this line, that'll be support once it gets back over it around 180.04. So if that were to happen, that's going to be your support level at that time. If we were to gap up and slam this from the bottom side, you could look for a big sell-off real fast off of that line too. So knowing the levels and having them on your charts, that's why I have all these crazy lines on my chart, because I know one thing. Computers know two things. They know old levels, highs and lows, and they know Fibonacci's. That's what they teach them, and that's how they trade. And that's why you see stocks with a huge candle down at the open, and 42 seconds later it's $6 higher. The computers bought it. You and I can't react that fast. We don't have that information. We don't think in milliseconds, and we doggone sure don't react in milliseconds. That's why I teach, get the lines on some kind of charts. It don't have to be on the one you're looking at all day long, but if you're swing trading, this shouldn't interfere with what you do. RH, still a bad week, sitting on top of the 200 weekly, and excuse me, that's the daily right there. This is the whole week. 200 daily is where we're sitting at. We're holding this level here so far on the weekly, but this is really went into my power zone this week. So this could actually be going to pick up some momentum and be headed much further down. And last stock on the bears, another stock that's had the momentum down here. It wasn't coming out of consolidation, so it hadn't showed up on any kind of bear zone list for the weekly, but it's there now. The daily is where the bear zones came in way back here around the 12th, as it gained momentum to this downside. Actually, it was even before the 12th. Way back here is where we put this on short watch on February 2nd. That's $20 ago. That's your daily on that stock. So remember, this is your resistance level right above. It's got to get above that, close, and probably retest before it's going to do anything to the positive side. And it is gaining weekly momentum, remember. So you got more support levels down here below that may be tested. 87.65 is the next one, and then 86.02. When you hear me mouse over, I'm looking in this box. You got 5 green lines and 5 pink lines, and they coincide with the values of all these lines on these charts. So when I mouse over, you can see exactly where I'm looking at over there on the left. LS 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and HR 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are high resistance and low supports. Sometimes you can be under a low support like we just looked at right here, and that now is resistance. This weekly bull list is just way too huge to review. Not going to walk down the list. I will go through the dailies. Many of these have been there for several days. Gains came in here through the week. Ended up with 38 on the week that broke out in the bull zone on the weekly. I am gonna off video take a quick rundown through. If I see something in consolidation, I will click it back on and feature it real quick. But you can see the list here. You can see how much they gained on Friday, and you can look at your own weekly charts. And I'm going to pull this down so you get a look at the whole list. There's 38 stocks on this from last week. And like I said, I'm going to do a quick rundown myself. Just don't want to tie up that much video time. There's 40 stocks there. That's 15 or 20 minutes. Many of these are on multi-week runs. This edit has been on a multi-week run, picking up momentum again on this earnings play from a couple of days ago. EW here just continues to power up here the last 3 weeks. We put this in on a weekly alert back in January. A lot of things, actually, first week of January, were so strong. And our daily started bringing this into bullseye way back here, the early part of January too. That stock's up $20 from that point. You see how these lines playing? It's a great example. Break resistance, had the big gap up day, probably off of earnings or whatever, and some kind of chatter, and then it sold off for 5 days, and look where it went back to. The low of that bar, 121.40. The line, 121.45. And you can apply any kind of thinking on these lines to any time frame chart. KLAC, another stock we've mentioned for several days this week. This broke into the bear bull zone way back here, 114 during the week. It's up about $6 over that level. It is hitting this old high from this peak day of this gap up, big run up, sell back off real fast. That was a week, excuse me. Here's your dailies, just continued. Again, a great sample of hitting an old high, giving a pullback, back to another old high support, and continue on up. You're back up here now. Just now coming into technically the bulls on levels. It don't have momentum indicated in here, the little yellow line, just because it's already exploded the momentum down here and here. Here's where the momentum came in. It's just got so far out there now. The part that picks up this is a momentum break. That part is now not true anymore. It doesn't mean it doesn't still have momentum. This particular stock on the weekly is just now picking up some momentum to imply more upside. On the daily, you broke out of these old highs back here as well. This is definitely a consolidating stock, not making new highs, but it is getting on my weekly bull zone and picking up the momentum right here on this past week. And I believe you've exceeded this old high back here. Trip's a little more interesting in the fact that it's had a huge sell-off. Here's your bigger picture on your weekly. I'll spend about a month right here trying to get some momentum going. It is making not quite higher high. It tested a higher high from this last run up, which these are all lower highs, of course. So if it can break back out above this level right here, which was 45.97, and you see this little pink line, that's an old place it bounced in the past, 45.95. 2 cents off that high right there on that weekly. It's got to get back through there. Over $46 is what this stock really needs to do to get any kind of momentum. But it had a good week, nice looking week, held the 50 week. It's got the momentum on the weekly that it's maintained even through this pullback. So it's really trying to show some signs of getting going again here. TRIP. WDC, another stock we talked about earlier in the week, of how strong its breakout of this weekly consolidation has had 4 monster days in a row. Just straight up. This is something that could definitely give you a little pullback right here. That's not much to pull back there. And it's got more old highs out above it. It's not making new highs now. It's got plenty of range left back to where it came from. Get over and we'll look at those daily charts. While you're here, be sure to subscribe to our channel and follow us on Twitter or StockTwits at Day Trader Setups. and our website is daytradersetups.com and swingtradersetups.com. Don't forget, this video is being brought to you by our premium alerts at swingtradersetups.com. They're real-time alerts. They're posted on our website, and we're looking at our bull zone weekly and daily breakouts, and our bear zone weekly and daily breakouts that are in one category on the website. And there are other categories that are more aggressive for the more active trader as well. And by having a subscription to that service, you get all these alerts intraday as they happen, and one subscription gets you access to everything, as well as our chart system. If you would like to get it, I can set you up a couple of different ways to have the green and pink lines available for your charts as you review. Let's go forward. We are already near 30 minutes, so we're going to try to keep this really fast through here, just flipping through these. Hasbro gap down, probably off the Toys R Us bankruptcy kind of stuff going on there. SNA just revisiting the bear zone down here, and the daily bulls, of course, we got a huge list. We can toggle down through. There's not that many of us new on the list. The recap list is the thing you need to be looking at, and they definitely don't have time to go through all those charts. This is just a huge breakout day on this stock. Sloppy chart, but big breakout day, and it come up pretty strong on the weekly as well through some resistance. So something's good's going on there to give that kind of week. Pretty oversold stock. 200 day right here, that's your orange line. Your blue line is your 50 day. So working back up, a classic Fibonacci retracement on this stock from way down here to way up here. Nice bounce right there on this weekly. Energy sector's kind of been a lagger, but they had some pretty good weeks this past week. Technology stock on the daily coming up through this support area, trying to get a little momentum out of this long consolidation. That's kind of what you're looking for. Chevron, long consolidation, trying to get a little momentum back up. That's another one of the energy stocks. EFX is into your 200 day. It did clear it. Has run a long way. You can kind of see our little pivot system at play here all the way down. This is not the pivot we put in the intradays. This is just a bigger, this is more Fibonacci related moves. Back to support just like you're supposed to see, and then off to a really nice multiple day run here. Spent 3 days on the 50 up through the 200. So this kind of thing's kind of come a long way. It's at the 50 week as well. HIG, another classic example of holding support. Weekly chart there. Up through this daily resistance line, up through the 200, still got the 50 overhead. Also on a weekly chart. There's your support line. It's trying to get back through. That's resistance now that it's below it. All classic stuff. I didn't make any of this up. Up through your 200 day here, coming off the bottom. Well, that's a weekly, a 200 week coming off the bottom down here. Let me get you back on the daily there. I think I missed that last chart on the daily as well. This support resistance line here, trying to get going out of that little consolidation. Not so much consolidation here, is just finally getting some momentum from the bottom up to the top. We got the 50 day there. You got to worry about that blue line there, and you got the overhead pink line. Kansas City Southern up through old resistance pretty good here. This is kind of a large consolidation. You got some trend lines coming into play here that broke out this little base. Definitely got this old high to contend with up here off the 50 week and the 50 day as well this week. We looked at this earlier at old highs. Coming up to the 200 day where this stock rejected last time it tested. That's that orange line. getting the little momentum coming out of this long consolidation period here. It's been in for over a month. Just gaining momentum, not so much consolidation. You do got your 200-day right on top of it. Same thing here, just picking up momentum from this move off the bottom. PSX, another energy stock, held well down here at the support resistance line. You see the green and the pink. Well, the pink was an old low that it bounced, and the green was an old high that it rejected sometime in the past. Most likely when it got above that old high, when it came back and revisited, it created this pink line. That just shows you that it supported it in the past, and it supported it all the way across here, back through this level. And you got a weekly line you're getting back above here too. There's a way back there resistance support line. You're back above that. That's where you need to stay now. $93, $94.12, $94.12. SLB, a little classic. If I do my targets from here, target 1, target 2. That's on a weekly. Now it's pulled back again. Now can it go again? It may go here and reject, come back here again. I don't know what they're going to do, but this is pretty classic stuff here. What you want to do is bam, bam, up here. That is a weekly chart. This is your daily break on the bull. Just getting some momentum out of this consolidation. You do got resistance coming up here at 70.01. UPS, a little consolidation down here for 6 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, about 5 weeks. Still got resistance right here, 111.30. It is trying to get momentum from the consolidation there now. Still got resistance. I don't know much about this thing at all. Could be a little consolidation, you could say, up here, and it is getting a little momentum out of that spot, so it can build. You see your old high there. And XON, big day earlier in the week, a lot of chop sideways, so it kind of put itself into the bull zone several days ago and hadn't gone anywhere yet, and it's trying to pick up the momentum again. Now when it broke the bull zone the first time here, this was this break. Now it's recalculated my bull zone, which is way up here, so this is not a new break. That's what I want you to be seeing here. You do have resistance right here. It's an old low. It bounced in the past at $17.04, and you've got the same different line here actually of another weekly support area it's held in the past that it finally lost, and that's going to be your major resistance here when you get to $18.41. That winds up all the dailies. Show you the recaps. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on StockTwitch. Check out our website, Swing Trader Setups and daytradersetups.com. We're about to release a charting package. We've been developing this for parts of it I've been using for years and years and years, and then other parts I've started trying to zone in on proper timing and putting the two together into a charting package. It's going to be a licensed product. You can get a 7-day free trial, and it maintains itself as long as you maintain your subscription with us. That'll be on NinjaTrader. But you'll be able to run your charts rather than my symbols as well. Only those who hung around to the end got that little news release. This is your bear breaks for the week. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days. Most of these actually had green days on Friday. So there's way down here. Only one CI still pretty weak down here. Dollar General, Dollar Tree, of course, still kind of weak. They did have green days as well. And PVH had a pretty good green day. So, and it's probably at this support area here. Look at the recap on the dailies, which we already did earlier in the video. So we're just going to give you that last look here at the end where you can pause the video and look at where these stand. Again, 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 4 day, 5 way, and that was this week's we've been looking at the beginning of the video. I'm going to show these in case somebody popped in and went straight to the end to grab these. A lot of people do that. They'll watch just a few minutes at the first, then they'll jump. They'll get the watch list part, and then they'll jump right to the end, and they'll take a look at this recap. So that's why I want to cover it again here at the end, even though we did it in the beginning. To pull this down where you can pause the video and catch these last few stocks. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.